Right, here it is. Now.
Hey, this is VNX Incorporated, Jonathan, and Patrick. Hold on, let me show you Patrick. It's Patrick, alright. This is actually Patrick's deck. It's called the HIV deck. It's a virus deck, that's why we call it HIV. No offense to anybody that has AIDS. All it does is really infect your opponent's deck. This deck is really deadly. Like, I'm surprised no one really went to regionals with it. But I'll show you how it runs, because it's not a deck if you just autopilot. You really gotta think ahead. Here, monsters. Now at first it's gonna look kind of weird, but when you actually play test the deck, it's freaking awesome, especially in this format. You run 3 giant Kozakis. Its effect is if there's a face-up Kozaki on the field, destroy this card. If this card on the field is destroyed, it sucks pretty much. Without skill drain, this card is terrible. But what you combo it with is Eradicator Epidemic virus, which I will show you soon. The good thing about this card is when you place it face down, its attack is still 25. So you could set it face down and play Eradicator, tributing it, and going off with your effect. I'll show you what this card is in here. So you also run 3 Fossila Dragons. Just like Kozaki, it's useless without skill drain, but when you place it face down, using his effect, his defense and attack are still original, meaning when you set it face down, his attack is 28. It's only when it flips up that his effect kicks in. So when you place it face down, he's a 2800 monster, and you could offer him by playing Eradicator. So 3 Fossila Dragons. 2 Exile Force. You'll see why very soon. It bypasses skill drain. When you have skill drain on the field, you can still activate Exile Force's effect. Why? Because it's a cost to activate his effect. Meaning when you activate him, he goes to the grave automatically, and he resolves in the graveyard. Skill drain does not affect him when he's in the graveyard. 2 Zumbira the Darks. It's a 2100 beater. With skill drain on the field, his downside is negated, and you can play Deck Devastation Virus on him. 2 Mist Archfiends, same thing, he's a 2400 beater. You could normal summon him without a tribute. If you do so, he dies at the end phase, but if you play skill drain, he stays on the field. And if you notice, most of the monsters are darks and have high attacks over 2000, so you could play the viruses on them. A Morphing Jaw, I'll show you why. The Dark Dragon, you run a lot of darks, and the Goas. He's a 2700 attacker, and you could offer him for the virus. Now, the main thing about this deck is the traps. And I'll show you right now. The main card in this deck is this. Eradicator Epidemic Virus. A lot of you pros out there know what it does. For the rookies, this card is really broken. The effect is when you activate this card, tribute a dark monster with 2500 attack or less or higher. That's where Kozaki and Fossila Dragon come in, because you could just place them face down, set that. When your opponent draws, you play Eradicator, and you could tribute it. You could check out the ruling. It's a legal play. When the monster is face down, his stats are original, and you could tribute face down monsters. When you play this card, you declare either magic spells or trap cards. If you call spells, destroy all of the spell cards on the field, on your opponent's field and in their hand, and for the next 3 turns. And I'm going to say this again. You play Eradicator and you call spells against some of the top decks out there, you almost guarantee to win. If you call spells, they lose all the spells in their hand, all the spells on the field, Necro Valley, whatever, and also for the next 2 turns. So this card is really broken. You call traps, same thing. They lose all the traps face down. If you go against a deck that plays like a lot of Solemn Warning and bottomless trap holes and deep prisons, just set Kozaki, set Eradicator. When they draw, go Eradicator, call traps. They lose all the Solemn Warnings, all the Solemn Judgments on the field, in their hand, in the next 2 turns. So this card really, it hurts Blackwing if you call traps. If you're going against plants, call spells. You're going against Gravekeepers, call traps or spells. You know, it doesn't really matter. Plus you get to see your hand, your opponent's hand, and all the face down cards on the field. So 3 Eradicators, 3 Deck Devastation Viruses. A lot of you know what it does. If you don't, well, tribute a monster, a dark monster with 2000 attack or higher, and destroy all monsters on your opponent's field and hand and for the next 2 turns that have 1500 attack or less. In this format, that's pretty much every monster, because you're going against samurais. They're gonna lose the tuner. They're gonna lose the marauding captain guy, whatever his name is, Kaigeki. You go against plants, it rapes plants. They lose dandelion and the tokens. Well, the tokens come later, but they lose the breed dragon. They lose quick draw synchron. They lose long fire blossom. You go against gravekeepers. They lose spy. They lose descendant. They lose recruiter. They lose everything. And for the next 3 turns, you go against gladiator beasts. They lose a lot of monsters. You go against
Swarm.
You go against Eternities. They lose everything except Archfiend. You go against Lightsong. They lose Honest. They lose Raikou. They lose Lumina. They lose. I mean, this card is really good nowadays. Next, you have 2 Solemn Warnings. Self-explanatory, you know. Negate summons. 2 skill drains. Really badass. You play skill drain. Samurais can't do anything. Lightsongs can't do anything. Plants can't really do nothing. I mean, Kai's has no effect. The Black Rose has no effect. Raikou has no effect. And skill drain not only hurts your opponent, but it helps your monsters, because now Kozaki comes into play. You could just normal summon a 2500 beater or 2800 beater, and you know, which is really great in this deck. It's Unburied the Dark. You just normal summon. Skill drain is badass in this deck. Next, you have Royal Oppression, because you don't special summon. You don't special summon at all, really, and it really hurts your opponent. I mean, if you have skill drain and Royal Oppression on the field, you shut down 90% of the decks out there. Mirrorful, staple. Torrential Tribute, staple. Spells, 1 duality, because we only have 1. If you have 3 dualities, you have completed this deck. With 3 dualities, this deck is unstoppable. Literally. Well, so far 1 duality, because we only have 1. 1 upstart, because I'm kind of borrowing Patrick's upstart goblins.
Yeah.
But technically, you run 3 dualities, 3 upstarts. A card destruction. It's so badass in this deck. It gives you a better hand, and plus, if your opponent is under the effect of a virus and you play card destruction, say you played Eradicator and you call spells and you play card destruction, whatever they draw into, if it's a spell, it dies. That's why Morphing Draw comes in also, because if they're under a virus and you play Morphing Draw, whatever they draw into, you know, that matches the type that you call dies. Monster Reborn, staple, you know, just in there, just in case. Dark Hole, staple. A Lower Darkness, you play Darks. Giant Grenade, you know, kind of iffy, but we play because we only have 1 duality. 2 Ghost Sarcophagus, that's replacing our dualities, you know, so play Ghost Sarcophagus on the virus or on the monster. 2 MSDs, and the last 2 cards in this deck explains why this deck is so deadly against the top tier decks. 2 D-Fissures. If you play D-Fissure in this deck, D-Fissure in any deck pretty much means you win. Because all the top decks, you can name the top 5 decks out there, abuse the graveyard, and they need the graveyard. You play 2 D-Fissures with the virus, badass. I mean, you play deck Devastation Virus with D-Fissure on the field, all that wants to get removed from play. Dandelion, bye-bye. Treeborn, gone. All the frog decks, gone. Recruiter, D-Fissure, he gets no effect, no search. Plus you have Skill Drain. I mean, Heavy Storm is gone. So their best bet is what? Cold Wave and Heonly. You have Skill Drain. Heonly has no effect. And if you play deck Devi, chances are they don't have a tuner to bring out Heonly, because Dark Soul and Fulham Knight, you know, are gone. D-Fissure is just badass in this deck. I mean, I played Patrick all night and I just didn't want to play him anymore. It's not fun. You just get raped. If he goes first and he sets Skill Drain, Royal Oppression, or D-Fissure, or a Virus card, you can't do anything, you know? Like, I had my Samurai decks with playtesting. I drew my opening hand. I had Gateway, United, Upstart, and a monster. And I drew into like a, I don't know, a trap stun. As soon as I drew, he went Eradicator, he called spells. I was naked, dude. I mean, I had no spells. And then for the next 3 turns, I mean, I keep drawing spells and I keep dying. It's bullshit. And by the time the virus is over, he plays the second virus. Then he calls traps. Then he calls monsters. Then he has Skill Drain on the field. So I'm top decking into bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Just fuck you, Patrick. And, so this is the deck. if you have the resources for it, build this deck. It is so consistent. I mean, it's very, 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 very consistent. If you have 3 dualities, game over. It's broken. 3 dualities in this deck, that's it. That's the next Road Tribute right there. This is worse than Road Tribute. I mean, Road Tribute hurts you for 1 turn. This hurts you for eternity. I mean, you go to sleep with this shit on your mind. But yeah, this is the deck right here. Like I said, it's kind of like low budget right now because, you know, times are hard. You know, we can't afford 3 dualities.
I can't afford the 3.
It's kind of bullshit, but if you can't afford 3 dualities, build this deck. Even without the duality, it's still pretty good. You know, you open up with, just let me draw an opening hand. Nah, fuck that. It's gonna take too long. You open up with Kozaki, and you don't have a virus card. Ooh, fix that problem. Duality. Mill 3, you're gonna find a virus. Set Kozaki, set the virus. As soon as they draw a virus, call spells. I always call spells, always, because people run more spells than traps, and spells are, you know, essential. And once you see their hand, oh, I forgot to tell you, Patrick, we gotta put Mind Crush in here. Also put Mind Crush in this deck. Why? Because once you play a virus card, you get to see your opponent's hand. So after that, you can just, oh, I play Eradicator. I call spells. You lose all the spells in your hand. Oh, is that a bottomless? I call Mind Crush. You lose that bottomless. It's, you know, so Mind Crush. Check out a fucking, I don't know, check out a Zumbura the Dark or something. But anyway, comment, rate this deck, subscribe. Love y'all. That's it. Deuces.
Yeah, love you too. Bye.